Hi everyone, I'm JD. Welcome back to my channel. So this is part 3 answering your questions from the 2000 subscriber video. I hope this has been fun so far and insightful and helpful and not too boring. But just grab your crafting items and craft away while you listen, I suppose. I'm especially loving these deep questions that you're answering here. We had one about depression and one about faith. Hey Keanu, how are you? And this one here, this is another deep question. So thank you so much for all your questions, but especially the deep ones. Denise asks, having personally experienced many issues in raising a child of a different race and culture than our own, I was wondering, have you and your family dealt with issues with you being of a different race and culture than that of your family? So short, simple answer is pretty much no. So I was very fortunate in that way. But for those who don't know, I was born in South Korea, but at 4 months old, I was adopted and came to Australia. So all my family are Australian. My mum and my sister flew over to South Korea and brought me back home to my dad and brother who were waiting for me. And yeah, I've always known that my family loved me and I loved them, and everything was just, normal for me. It's like, this is just the way things are. Of course, at school, I did find a little bit of teasing or bullying, but not really a lot in terms of the way I looked. So I could feel kind of like I didn't fit in because of the way I looked, just being different, looking different to everyone else. And I got occasionally those jokes of, people mocking an Asian accent, or they would do that thing where they stretched their eyes thin. But really, I have to say I was very lucky in this way, because that rarely happened actually. More what I got teased for and what was a big issue for me growing up was being bullied or teased or alienated for being a geek and a nerd. And I was a very quiet kid, shy kid, and I was very much also, a goody two-shoes, a teacher's pet who liked learning and assignments and all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't in the cool crowd because of that. And for lots of my school years, I worried and fretted and spent so much time thinking about how uncool I was and wanting to fit in with the cool crowd and, the popular group. And now as an adult, I embrace being a geek and I embrace being a nerd. I love it. I think things kind of changed when I went to uni, because everyone's there to learn and you weren't teased for being a geek at uni. It's kind of a good thing to be a geek when you're at uni. And so, yeah, if I could have told my younger self one thing, it probably would just be, be a nerd. Embrace it, love it, don't worry about trying to fit in. So yeah, that was much more of caused me a lot of grief being a nerd when I was in school. Next question is, when was Keanu born and where did you get him from? Yes, I'll link that video below showing when I got Keanu when he was so small, and I told all the story about how I got him then and everything, but I'll answer again here definitely. When was he born? I'm not too sure, because the story is he was abandoned. He was dumped at the school in a shed, and thankfully one of the teachers, who is my friend, she opened the door of the shed, or went into the shed and discovered them. And so there was him, and he had 4 sisters. They were grey tabbies, and he was the only black one and he was the only male. So it's kind of fun because it's like we're both different. I've always felt different throughout my whole life, and he was the different one in his family, so it's like we're related. We're both outcasts, so we are good together. And so that's how I got him. But they think he was about 4 months old when he was discovered, or 4 to 6 months old. So yeah, I'm not too sure of his exact birth date. And yeah, my teacher friend, she just asked me if I would like the black cat, and I said yes. So he is playing with his ball that has a bell in it right now. So Pinky asks, you gonna be quiet? What other country would you like to use as a theme for a junk journal aside from Australia? Wow, I do have a lot of themes that I want to do, but not so much in terms of country. Like, I don't even really want to do an Australian themed one, but I think that would be fun to do, I guess. But aside from Australia, I guess the only one that I can think of is Paris or France, because, you know, there's a lot of Eiffel Tower stuff out there. There's a lot of French ephemera that I absolutely love. So that one definitely. And I think I've already made a French journal, haven't I? With that French vintage journal that was for a design team project. But I'll be up for making another one because I love, yeah, like I said, French ephemera. Where do you get your original ephemera, and what is your favourite part of creating journals? So original ephemera, I don't have much. I do want to build up that collection for sure. But whatever I can find in op shops, so that's hit and miss. If I find a really good op shop, then that's awesome, especially in Melbourne. They've got some good op shops down there, so I'm really hanging out to go back to Melbourne and raid those op shops and pick up some more vintage ephemera. When you say original, I'm thinking vintage, by the way. I hope that's okay. But a lot of it I also just get in Happy Mail from people, and I'm not sure how people can part with their original vintage ephemera, but I'm very, very thankful for sure. And I'm taken to also buying it online now, a lot through eBay and that kind of thing. Not eBay, Etsy, just because, yeah, I love using my own journals and journaling, but now that I've got Patreon, it's given me an incentive to source vintage ephemera so I can offer it to my patrons in the freebies and in their digitals and stuff like that. So yeah, what's my favorite part of creating journals? My favorite part, there's so much. There's so many aspects. There's the aspect of I get to create something from nothing. I just love the creative process in that way. I love, Gianni, what are you doing? Hang on guys, just 1 second. Don't know where he is. He's hiding. He's meowing very loudly. Anyway, favorite part. So also, I just love experimenting and creating just in general. So I love all of that. But I just love, I guess, knowing also that I'm creating something worthwhile, that this thing that I'm making, that I'm trying to make that looks beautiful, will also have a function, and that someone's going to be able to use it, whether it's me or someone else, and that someone can fill it with their thoughts. And I love that a journal is something that is a just wonderful tool, and that I can make this wonderful tool. Oh my goodness, that's so cool, because usually I'm used to buying journals, but now I can make my own. Like, that's amazing. Okay, we're on to the last page. This is exciting. So Kay asks, do you ever consider scrapbooking or card making to add to your crafting? I will have to show you some of my scrapbooks. I did have a scrapbooking phase quite a while ago now, and I got right into it. I also then had a card making phase after that. So I just have lots of phases. I've had a jewelry making phase, I've had a painting mixed media phase, but yeah, I always move on to the next thing. And so I'm pretty much done with scrapbooking, card making. Occasionally I'll make more if I feel like it with card making, because I like to make my own birthday cards and Christmas cards. But I probably wouldn't do scrapbooking anymore, especially now that I've got junk journals, which is sort of like scrapbooking anyway. But I love that you can combine scrapbooking and card making into junk journals anyway. You know, you can add cards to your journals. And yeah, like I said, the scrapbooking elements is all very much a part of junk journals anyway. Deb, where do you get your ephemera? Answered that one in terms of original vintage ephemera, but otherwise, yeah, just the cheap shop occasionally. Although I don't really buy stuff from there anymore. Online, because living in a small country town, there's not many shops around, so I rely heavily from online. But I'm going to say that I'm very lucky as well in that Happy Mail has been pretty much 90%, I would say, maybe that's too high, 75% of my supplies come from Happy Mail. And I'm just so thankful for that. Especially living in a small country town, it's just been a real help for me, I suppose. But if I can't find it here, I just definitely search online. Or ephemera. It depends on what you call ephemera. I guess whatever I can find in op shops too. Marcy, how many journals do you work on at once? Are they all junk journals or different kinds? Magazine flow, etc. Ideally, I like to work on one at a time, but I do kind of get sick of projects or get exhausted from a project and we'll move on to something else. And so I do have about, let's look at my shelf, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got about 5 that I can see. Oh, 6, 7. Oh, I've got about 10. I've got about 10 unfinished journals at the moment. Yeah. What I tend to do is make covers. I love making covers the most. And so I just have pretty much like 10 covers ready to go. And yeah, then I just have to fill them. But I tend to put them aside and work on a different journal or cover. So I do have to get into just ticking off this list of journals that I need to make. And I do make different kinds. I have made some out of magazines. I have made some that are flow. I made some out of little golden books. I make some from scratch. So all different types. But they are all junk journals. What is your favourite media to work with in a hurry? Like if you run out of something, what is your go-to? So yeah, we had a bit of a back and forth to clarify this question. But basically I'm not in a hurry when I'm creating, because if I don't finish something one day, I've got the next day. So I'm not really ever in a hurry. And if I run out of something, I try not to run out of something. When I'm running low, I try to have a backup ready. So for example, I generally have 2 of these and I generally have 2 of these. So I'm always trying to not run out of things either. I don't know, but maybe in terms of glue, because we were talking about glue when we had our little back and forth. Sorry, I'll just reach for a stapler maybe, but then again, like I intentionally want to use a stapler too. So yeah, I don't really run out of anything and I don't really work in a hurry, so there's not really a go-to. Okay, can you please give me any tips, tricks, anything that has helped you through your journaling career? I have been asking experienced journalists what has helped them or what their best tips for beginners are to hopefully help myself improve. Marina. Wow, I've never had it described as a career before, but okay, this is exciting. And I'm an experienced journaler. Oh my gosh, I've never really thought of that either for myself, so this is kind of fun. Tips and tricks that have helped you in your career. Oh gosh, well, yeah, all I can say is what I've done, and it's worked for me, I guess, but it was never really intentional. It's just what I did, and then things happened. So, you know, make journals, share them on YouTube, on Facebook, and all that kind of thing. Set up, and I do recommend an Etsy shop. I know some people have websites, and that's awesome. And if you know how to use a website and can do all of that and promote it, then that's awesome, do that. But for me, I just take the simple, easy option where I don't really have to promote or anything, and Etsy sets it all up for me, like the shipping process, like orders, and it just is really streamlined and easy. I wouldn't know how to do that by myself on a website. So I definitely recommend Etsy. Oh, hello Kiari, how are you? Just because that's works for me. That's all I can go off. So, but what works for me doesn't work for everyone. If you have knowledge and skills in other areas, then you go use that knowledge and skills. And then I guess, what else? That's all I did. Yeah, just make journals, share them, and then put them up on Etsy to sell them. And tips for beginners. Yeah, I guess this is like a broad question as well. Like, are you referring more towards like the skills of making a journal, or more in terms of selling journals and all that kind of stuff? So if you want to clarify that, just let me know, but I'll try to answer it the best I can here. My tips for beginners is more just, I guess, yeah, just create because you love creating. Make these journals because it makes you happy. For me, I had no expectations. I didn't go into this going, I want to have a business making journals, or I want to make a full-time living making journals. That was never my intention. It was literally just, I love making journals and I'm going to share them with people, and people started buying them. That's how it happened. And so I always say, do it for you first and have, I don't know, for me, have no expectations because that's my journey. And then that way you're never going to be let down. You're never going to be disappointed because you're going to be doing what you love every day. So that's how I do it. If all of a sudden no one ever bought another journal from me, I would still make journals because I love it. I love making them. And like I said, I find it really enjoyable how I'm making something that I believe in. I love journals so much, and that I get to make my own journals. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So I'll always continue making journals for myself to use and as gifts and things like that. So yeah, do it for you. Do it because you love it. And yeah, I guess that's my tip. Experiment, create, just go wherever your heart is led. To improve, I guess, oh, that's so more making journals. I guess, yeah, again, my advice is really simple for that. Just keep doing it over and over again. The more you do it, the more your skills develop. It's as simple as that. There's no shortcut to it. Just keep at it, and you learn as you go. So, have you done courses on writing? I'd love to journal my Keanu. I'd love to journal my life sometime in the near future in a family tree type of style. Another question, what are your favourite colours? Oh, my favourite colours, that's easy, blue. Blue, 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 blue. I also love teal and aqua, even though that's blue. And I guess purples, some purples, and maybe some greens. But mostly blue, just blue. Have I done courses on writing? I have, yes. I mentioned this before. I did a Masters of Writing and Literature. I did a semester of creative writing at Bible College, and I've also done a short course on creative writing. And yeah, loved it all. And I love this idea of you want to journal your life sometime. That is awesome. I think everyone should do that. And in the near future, in a family tree type of style. That's interesting. I'm interested. Tell me more about that, because I'm really interested in journaling my life too, and I just need to work out how, because, you know, journaling a whole life is a big, big project. How do you structure it? How do you organize it? It's massive, and I'm interested in seeing how you're going to do it with the family tree type of style. That's fun. Yeah, if you want to know anything more about that, I hope you can hear me. Sorry, guys. I love that my cat is having fun playing with this toy, but it's very, very loud. Yeah, if you've got any more questions about writing or the courses or anything, just feel free to ask away. I can talk about writing forever. I love writing so, so much. It's my first passion. So ask questions, talk to me about writing. I love it. Okay, do you plan on writing a book? Oh, another writing questions. Yay! I'm writing a book on Keanu along with your journal that we can purchase. Well, first of all, I'm not too sure what you're referring to with the journal we can purchase. Like a Keanu journal you can purchase. I was thinking of making some cat journals, and I will, for my Etsy, and I was thinking of including some photos of Keanu throughout those journals, and that you can definitely purchase those. But in terms of, I'm making myself a junk journal, a cat journal that I can record Keanu's life in, but I'm not selling that. That's for me. And do I plan on writing a book about Keanu? No, I never really planned to do that. I guess the journal is enough, documenting his life. And although since reading this book, I read a book about a cat, a family and this cat, how the cat helps them. And so I was really inspired by it, and maybe at the end of his life, or towards, you know, when I've had him a bit longer, maybe I'll feel like writing a book later on. So yeah, I still got a bit of time, and I think I'll get through the rest of these questions in this one video. I've got 10 minutes to go, but my cat is meowing, so just hold on a second, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. My cat, I have an ensuite, and so my cat, he the bathroom area, the ensuite is his little room, I guess. My bedroom is his room too. But all of his bowls and his kitty litter are in my ensuite. And so the door is always open from my room to the ensuite for him. And he loves getting up onto the shower, the top of the shower, and that thin little bar across the top of the shower door. And then he meows when he wants to come down because it's really high and he doesn't jump down by himself. He can. He's done it before, but I think it's a bit too high for him. And so he meows and meows and meows. And I love it because if he ever needs help, if he's ever stuck or in trouble, I want him to meow so that I can go find him and rescue him. So yeah, that's just what happened there. He was meowing. I could tell he's got this kind of whiny meow when he needs help. Like if he's stuck in a cupboard. When we open the door to the cupboard and he'll go in and we don't even know because we didn't see him, and then we'll close the door and then 10 minutes later, meow meow meow. It's like, oh, Keanu, where are you? And you open the door and he comes out. So anyway, I just rescued him from the shower screen again. So that's a story that will go into the cat journal. All right, what inspired you or drew you to open a YouTube channel? And what's the thing you love most about journaling? What inspired me to open a YouTube channel was simply seeing everyone else sharing their journals on YouTube. And I thought, well, yeah, let's give it a go. I'll share mine too. Specifically, it was Amity Bloom. When she shared a video just about her journey starting her channel and how it all happened. And I was just really inspired. She was saying things like, I think things like she was nervous about starting a channel and then didn't know how it would go, but then she discovered this amazing Amity Bloom family and she loved being part of it. And I thought that sounded so lovely. And I'm really amazed because now, I have the Willowbound Journal family, or I call it the Willowbound Journal community here as well. And I'm just like blown away that, looking back when I was looking at Amity Bloom's channel, I was just like, man, look at what she's got. That's just amazing. This amazing family who just supports her and people leaving just amazing, beautiful comments. And I was like, wow. And I never thought that I would have that. And not that I have like the amount of subscribers that she has or anything like that, but I have got this amazing community here who I love. You guys leave amazing comments and they're so lovely and they're so encouraging, and oh my gosh, so I know what Amity Bloom means now about that, and I'm really, really thankful. So every time I get just an amazing comment from you guys, it just blows me away. Anyway, I can get all gushy, so let's move on. What's the thing you love most about journaling? Oh my gosh, I love so much. Okay, I love that it's a way for me to get my thoughts onto a piece of paper so that it's not so much in me, but also I guess it's that whole idea that it's my legacy type of thing. It's when I die, at least I can still continue in writing, if that makes sense. Like I still exist on all the pages of my journals, and I have a lot of journals. So I guess it's that validation thing as well. Growing up, I was very quiet, and I still am quiet, and I don't know, like a private person, and I didn't talk much, and I was a very in my head person, and so writing just made me feel validated, and journaling just made me feel like I exist in the world, because I was so in the background and so silent that I didn't really matter in the world. I don't know if I'm explaining myself right, but on the page, putting my thoughts and real feelings and how I experienced life, that was all on the page, and then it gave me some security knowing, yes, this is here, it exists, I exist. That's why when I look at my journals, they mean a lot to me, because it's my existence. Not sure if that makes sense or if you can relate to that. But yeah, it's also just so therapeutic. It helps me know what I think. It helps me know myself. It helps me to find clarity and direction. It helps me to connect with God. It helps me to live. I can't speak highly enough of journaling and just how helpful it is. And essentially, I just enjoy it too. It gives me so much joy to journal and write and document memories so that they're not lost. That really helps me too, knowing that memories aren't going to be lost. Yeah, anyway. Carol, what is your favourite type of journal to make, and do you ever use another binding stitch other than pamphlet? No, I pretty much love pamphlets so much, and I will always use pamphlet. I have done twine binding and like for flow journals and stuff, so I might do that a little bit more. Like I definitely want to do some more flow journals, but yeah, definitely three whole pamphlet stitch is my favourite. My favourite type of journal to make is the one that I make from scratch, where I cut out the chipboard myself and measure it myself and then construct it and put it together myself for sure. I definitely want to experiment more with making my own journal covers and maybe painting them. Yeah, I'm a bit intimidated by that, but that's another area I want to branch out into and try. I also just love these kind of journals. I didn't make this one. This is from the Paper Addiction, but where you make it from a book cover. They're much easier, and the book cover, if you get a nice book cover, it's like wonderful. And I just love having a book as your journal because I love reading, I love books, so it's just like a perfect combination. Megan, where do you recommend people begin making journals? Definitely the paper bag journal. I recommend that for a first journal because it's so quick and easy. I'll link below that Make a Junk Journal with Me series with the paper bag if that helps for anyone. What types of embellishments, pockets, flips, tags, etc. are a good place to start? I guess just the general pocket. Just cut out a strip and stick it on, glue it down here, and then you've got the top pocket. That's the simplest one. And you can also flip it onto the side or flip it up to the top so the glue is this way. Sorry, I should have like, I don't know, an example, but I don't. Yeah, what types of embellishments? I don't know. I guess that's the best one I can think of. But I don't know. I'll link below my tutorials of embellishments below if that helps as well. What would be some good supplies to start with? Papers. Definitely papers. You can't make a journal without papers. So grab your papers. Any type. Book pages, scrapbook papers, note papers, your coffee dyed papers, or just coloured paper. Definitely papers. Because you can make an interesting journal just with the papers. You don't need embellishments. If you have different size papers, different textures, different colours, different weights, different patterns on the papers, then you've got a brilliant, wonderful, pretty journal there already. What size is a good size to start making journals in? A good size? Well, again, I'll just go back to the paper bag journal. That's just the easiest one. Get a paper bag, fold it in half. Done. And what would be your recommended cover type for newbies? Again, I would not recommend chipboard for the newbie. That's quite a well, I tend to think it more at an advanced technique. I didn't try that till much later in my journey. A book is pretty simple and easy to do, but it does take a bit of gutting and things. So I started first of all with a spiral bound notebook because the pages were already there, and I just ripped out the pages. Once it got bulky, I just ripped out pages, but I just decorated the pages myself. And so you got a blank notebook, it's an A5 visual diary, the pages are blank, and all I did was add my pockets directly onto the page and cover pages with pretty papers. And that helped me to get used to decorating pages, embellishing pages. And I didn't have to do anything to make the journal. It was already made for me. Then I would use the paper bag journal because that's one that you can make from scratch. But the cover, all you do is fold it in half and then you add your pages. Do your binding. It's just one single signature and that's really easy. And then you can kind of, I guess, upgrade to these and learn your multiple binding of signatures. And then you can make your own journal from total scratch. So that's what I recommend anyway. If you wanted to take it further, I would love to see more If you wanted to take it further, I would love to see more tutorials on making JJs. I love the ones I've watched of yours. Thank you. Well, we are going to be doing more in the Make a Junk Journals with Me series. We're going to do every single type of journal cover. Every single type of journal that I know how to make, we're going to do. So hopefully that's helpful. The next one is well, I'm not sure when this video is going to come out, but the next one is the Make a Fabric Cover Journal. So it may have already come out or it's coming out. If it's already out, I'll link it below. And another question, can we please have more awesome tutorials? Yes, I will do my best to bring out more. I will always do tutorials. I just don't do heaps often. For me, tutorials aren't my favorite thing to film. They take a lot of planning and, you know, effort and energy. I prefer to just share flip throughs of journals and my own journaling process and things like that. But I definitely do want to do tutorials anytime that I try something new or find something that I like to make. And of course, we're going to do all these Make a Junk Journal tutorials. So, oh my gosh, my cat. Sorry, guys. He just knocked this. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Okay, well, we're at the end of it anyway. The camera's all off skew. So, thank you for joining me. We managed to get through in 3 videos because I've made it just really long videos for this series. I hope that was helpful, insightful, and not too boring. Just let me know if you have any other questions. If you want me to elaborate or clarify anything, I'm always happy to answer. I love questions, and any deep questions, I love those ones especially. They're my favorites. So, but until next time, it will be the 3,000 subscriber video that I will ask for the next round of questions. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys are all well, and happy crafting, everyone. Bye, guys.